dog is man and woman's best friend. But how good a friend to your dog are you?
We all like to think our dogs are really happy with us, but how can we be sure? A new study of dogs being hugged suggests most of us are not actually very good at telling. And that made us wonder, are our dogs really happy? And can we use science to make them happier?
So we recruited 3 regular dog owners, called a team of experts, and designed a daunting 2-week challenge for them and for you. Our aim? Over 2 episodes to use this challenge and the latest science to supercharge their canine communication skills and develop a happier relationship with their dogs. It's all part of a new science dubbed dogmanship.
I'm passionate about dogmanship simply because it turns the lens on the humans.
Roxy!
But will it be enough to turn untrained pets
Come on. Go.
into household
Roxy.
sniffer dogs
Get the phone.
in just 2 weeks? It's day 1 and our recruits are all meeting for the first time. There's young Claudia and her surfing spoodle Poppy.
She is a surf pup and a beach babe, and I have full faith in her, and yeah, I'm really excited.
Leanne and little Roxy the Chihuahua.
People actually physically come up to us and say, oh, they're such yappy dogs, they're annoying, they're just small little rodents. We've found a totally different side to Chihuahuas. We're hoping through this experience we'll be able to show other people that as well.
And landscaper Matt with his sidekick Angus.
He goes to work with me every day. A lot of the clients enjoy having him on site. And he's just a lovely dog.
None of them have the slightest idea yet the challenge we have in mind for them. So it's time now for our first dogmanship specialist to reveal all. Ryan Tate has not only prepared dogs for starring roles in film, he's also a marine biologist and former SEAL trainer. He's an expert in the science of animal learning.
So do any of you ever lose your keys?
All the time.
Or what about that phone? Okay,
Yeah.
well, how would you like if your dog could search and locate those items anywhere in your house?
That'd be great.
That'd be good.
That'd be pretty cool, right? Well, this is your task. You're going to train your dog to do this at home. And the catch is you've only got 2 weeks to do it. All right? Don't freak out though, we're going to help you along the way. We're going to help you develop a whole new set of skills to communicate with your dog and develop a happier relationship. We're going to help you become your dog's life coach.
Sounds good. I think that we can do it, can't we, Poppy?
I think she can do it. Can we do it? I don't know.
Leanne isn't the only one with doubts. It is a big ask, even for a professional trainer.
We've got untrained dogs, novice owners. I don't think many professional trainers could actually do this in 2 weeks.
Before we start then, Ryan wants a baseline of each person's current canine communication skills.
We're going to take Angus out of sight and I want you to ask him to come and sit.
Angus! Angus! Come here. Good boy. Good boy. Oi, Angus.
Poppy, come here! Come to Mommy! Roxy! Poppy! Roxy!
Come on.
Poppy! Poppy, sit. Sit.
Oh, hold on, let us shake it out.
Slightly worse than we'd hoped.
Roxy, sit.
But if Ryan is currently reconsidering his 2-week deadline, he hides it well, as we prepare to teach them a new science-based way of communicating with their dogs.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to teach your dogs is what's known as a bridging reinforcer, or a bridge. That's where we pair a specific sound with a reward. The thing is though, not every dog likes the same reward best. So we're going to set up what's known as a reinforcer test. Straight to the chicken. Oh, chicken. Then cheese. Ooh. If you touch the tennis ball.
The test is repeated a few times to be sure.
Oh, good, yeah.
So it's chicken for Angus, cheese for Roxy, And for Poppy, it's the ball. Now we know each dog's preferred reinforcer, we're ready to pair it with a sound and make the bridge.
Stand, sit, drop.
Ryan has chosen the word yes as the bridge sound, but it could be any sound. Many trainers use a clicker or a whistle.
Watch his behaviour change when I do it. So say, hurry, we're working. Yes! Whee! Hey, good boy. And so for him, that word yes is as good as a promise to say you're about to get your favourite reward.
So we're going to learn how to do this.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah, all right, so
ready.
get your rewards ready first.
Okay.
And I want you to be nice and still. Dogs are really tuned into movement. And then as
Okay.
soon as you say that word, the reward comes.
Yes.
Perfect, Leanne.
What we're doing here is setting up a new pathway in the dog's brain so that every time it hears the word yes, it gets a rush of pleasure.
Yes.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Why bother though? Why not just give the food when the dog does the right thing rather than create a bridge sound?
Yes.
Oh, that was a great
boy.
one. See how he looked
Good
back
boy.
at you? He's already starting to get it.
Well, it's all about timing. The science we're drawing on here is called learning theory. It's the science that explains and underpins all learning in animals and people.
So you can imagine trying to work with an animal like this. They're big, they're semi-aquatic, and they're potentially dangerous. You literally can't force them to do anything. So you really need to understand what motivates that animal to want to learn and how can you communicate with them clearly.
Learning theory goes back at least 100 years, perhaps its best known pioneer being B.F. Skinner, who coined the term operant conditioning. While the marine mammal world has used learning theory science for decades, it's only more recently that dog owners have considered it.
If the dog's owners understand learning theory, they communicate clearly with the dog, which means the dog isn't getting mixed messages. The dog's not getting confused and trying to guess what do you want. It's unlocking a language, and the owners are learning to read their dogs and their dogs are learning to communicate back through their responses.
And fundamental to that language is accurate timing on our part. The longer you delay the reinforcement, the less likely they are to form a new association and learn.
So let's say we want to teach Marley here to pick up this article on the ground and bring it back to us. He can't read our minds, so we have to be really precise with when we bridge the whistle.
Good boy.
There. It's incredibly quick, and the whistle is much faster than she can throw food. Now imagine if you delayed that whistle signal just 2 seconds. A seal can do a lot in 2 seconds.
So within that 2 seconds, he looked away, looked back, and even vocalised and moved his whiskers. So in his mind, he's probably performed up to half a dozen behaviours. He doesn't know which one he's being reinforced for.
Good boy.
But with precise bridging via the whistle, look what he learns in under a minute.
Hey,
That's fantastic.
pretty clever, hey?
So how important is timing to your dog's learning? That answer became clear in this remarkable experiment conducted by Dr. Claire Brown, an expert on dog behaviour at the University of Waikato. Note the blue box and the yellow box. Both boxes have been laced with a food smell to encourage the dog to explore. Unbeknownst to the dog, the yellow box has been rigged with an infrared beam, so when the head pokes in, a beep sounds and food is delivered instantly. You can see her thinking about it. What made the food come out? There we go. With such clear feedback, dogs easily learn the task is to place their heads in the yellow box. Now watch what happens when the scientists introduce just a 1 second delay before the food is delivered. It seems such a minimal difference, but incredibly, that additional second is enough to confuse everything. The dog can't work out what it did to trigger the reward and eventually goes to sleep. Like most of them did with the 1 second delay. As with the seals, even in seconds, a dog can do a lot. How does it know which of these moves is being rewarded? Is it the lick of the lips, the drop, the tail wag, the open mouth? With a bridge reinforcer, you can deliver the message instantly, much faster than you can throw a ball. It's extremely clear, and that will supercharge your dog's learning,
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Starting to see it.
as well as making it fun.
Oh, look how much he's enjoying that. Look at that tail and that bum go. He loves it.
Well, they are clearly enjoying it. At what point should we stop?
Yes.
Our tendency as humans is to think practice makes perfect, and if we just keep going, it'll get even more perfect. But in fact, studies have shown that shorter duration sessions are better for canine learning.
On average, I'm going to say for these guys, anywhere from 30 seconds to 3 minutes, 2 to 5 repetitions per day. So honestly, the dogs will tell you when you've done enough, and you need to be watching for those subtle cues.
And vitally, every session must finish on a high.
It's called peak training, and the dog leaves going, I won, I want to do that again because winning feels good.
And while the dogs finish day one on a high, so do the owners.
When they told us, I was kind of like, oh wow, like, can I really do that?
We are so excited. We can't wait to see what Roxy's capable of.
We've worked on improving your canine communication, but how good are you at reading your dog? Let's find out. Do dogs like hugs?
Oh, Humphrey loves hugs. I wouldn't say all do. I know mine do.
Yeah?
I think they do.
Earlier this year, a Canadian scientist gathered over 300 internet photos of dogs being hugged and found an astonishing 82% of dogs were showing signs of stress.
Most dogs were hating it. So what that says to me is that people just don't know the signs of stress in their own dogs. I mean, look, they're putting these photos of their obviously unhappy dogs out on the internet for everybody to see. And the signs that they're missing are the ears slicked down and back, the head turned to the side to avoid eye contact, a stress yawn, or licking the air with their tongues.
Hugging is a great example of how we can misread what dogs actually want. Dogs haven't evolved to hug each other. So why we should imagine that they want to be seized in that way is beyond me.
Now, I have a question for you.
Okay.
I'm going to show you some pictures, and I want you to tell me whether the dog is happy or not. Okay. Happy or not?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
What makes you say they're happy?
The expression. I know it looks like he's smiling.
How about you? Can you tell if these dogs are happy?
Well, in fact, the ones on the left are all stressed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There are several studies of people's ability to read dogs' emotion. And on the whole, people tend to do pretty poorly. That's a problem, because you might think that you're doing something which makes your dog happy, but it might actually be making him miserable. Now, some dogs like to be hugged, but you need to know whether yours is telling you no.
It's day 3 of our coaching program, and our owners are meeting their second dogmanship specialist. Animal behaviour professor Paul McGreevy is in charge of the dogmanship research group at Sydney University. He's going to find out how good they are at reading their dogs.
Okay, folks, what I'd like to do is show you a short video of a young dog being tickled on the chest. And what I'd like you to do is tell me how happy you think this dog is.
Watch closely. What do you think?
It reminded me of being hugged by an old auntie or something. It's like you tolerate it, but it wasn't that comfortable.
Get out of that situation.
What if I told you that in that short 30-second clip, the dog actually showed 8 signs of stress?
Wow.
I thought maybe like the head going down was one of them.
Very good. Okay, so take a close look. You can see that the dog's moving back when that hand approaches. You spotted that. And then if we move forward, we're looking for signs of stress. So this includes turning away, lip licking, There's a turn away. Okay, there. Did you see that lip lick there?
Yes.
Many of these behaviours are completely normal behaviours. Licking is normal, yawning is normal, turning away is normal, but it's the context in which these appear that tells us that the animal may be in some sort of conflict or stress.
Now we're going to confront them with some of the subtle signals their own dogs were sending on the first day. Here's Poppy. There's a big scratch when there's no real reason to do it, a stress yawn and a lick of the lips.
Big lick.
Yeah, because I had to push her bum down. Yeah, you wouldn't like that. Would you have picked those as stress behaviours?
No,
I certainly hadn't.
not at all.
Now Roxy, whose stress speciality is the full body shake.
Look at it, it looks
Yeah,
cool inside.
she does that like 1,000 times a day.
You may notice that after this crash course in dogmanship that you see less of it.
I hope so, because it annoys me.
And finally, Angus.
Put on a happy face, mate. Put on a happy face. Oh dear. The ears have dropped. He's yawned. You know, he's scratching himself. Oh, he's not a happy kid, is he?
And a lick lip. All in the space of 4 seconds.
That was a personal best. Cram all of them in.
This doesn't necessarily mean the dogs are suffering, but they are telling us they're under pressure. If it's excessive, maybe backtrack your coaching to something easier.
The dogs are giving signals all the time, and it's our job to read that signalling, to understand what the dog's trying to tell us. And that's what a good life coach would do, and you'll get more and more great behaviours out of your dog if the dog's in a happy place.
This Science of Dogmanship session is proving an eye-opener for our group.
I think it's like cool because she's talking at me. Like here all day she's talking to me, but I don't even realise.
I think there are a lot of people who undoubtedly love their dogs, who are making some serious mistakes. And science is there to help all of us get the very best relationship with their dogs.
And if there's one serious mistake many dog owners make, it's the fallacy of the guilty look.
Buddy, did you chew this shoe?
You've probably seen this look. The hangdog expression, the oops, I know I did a bad thing. At least that's what many of us believe it means. YouTube is riddled with clips such as this one, put up by owners convinced their dogs feel guilty.
Goodness, Deborah, you didn't.
But what is the so-called guilty look? In a seminal experiment by Dr. Alexandra Horowitz, an expert in canine cognition, the owner is told to order their dog not to eat the treat and leaves the room. But in some cases, the researcher takes the food and lies about it.
Come back in, she ate it.
What did you do?
The so-called guilty look proved unrelated to whether the dog had disobeyed an instruction. It only appeared more when the owner thought the dog was guilty.
They showed more guilty look when the owner scolded them. In fact, they started looking guilty before their owners even scolded them. So if we believe that the guilty look indicates that the dogs really have an understanding of right and wrong, I think we'd be potentially punishing dogs needlessly and unfairly.
This so-called guilty look is actually an appeasement look, warding off our anger. And it's not surprising they throw us an appeasement look even before we scold. Study after study is proving they are exceptionally good at reading us. The fact is, humans and dogs have a unique mutual understanding. We've been evolving together for tens of thousands of years. Compared with wolves, dog brains are exquisitely attuned to our human signals. Here in Budapest, scientists from the renowned Wolf Science Centre and Family Dog Research Project have shown just how attuned to us dogs have become. Dogs are able to follow a human pointing hand, whereas wolves struggle with this. Then there's the fact dog expressions so often seem to reflect human expressions. even down to the additional muscles in their eyebrows which allow them to do this. The trouble is, we are naturally so good at communicating. Does it blind us to all the times we are miscommunicating?
We think we're teaching the dog not to chew, but what the dog learns is that we're unpredictable, possibly threatening, and we happen to be holding a shoe. If dogmanship can stop people punishing their dogs through sheer ignorance, then I'll be a very happy vet.
It's day 4 of our Dogmanship Science course, and so far they've learned a lot about how to communicate precisely through a bridge reinforcer and how to read what dogs are saying. Now Ryan and I are keen to check their progress and take them to the next stage in their ambitious quest to turn untrained pets into household sniffer dogs in 2 weeks.
All right, Claudia, the first thing we want to do is test how good a bridge that you have made for Poppy. So wait until she's attention is on something else.
Yes.
Ah, that is perfect. That's exactly what we want to see. Now we can train.
Sweet. Good girl.
Now the bridge is established in Poppy's brain, Claudia can use it to communicate with her that she wants Poppy to find her wallet.
Here we go.
All right, here is the magic ball. That's yours. And I want you to place the wallet somewhere, and as soon as she shows any level of interest in it, you're going to bridge and roll that ball straight under her nose.
Yes.
Perfect start. That is a winner. So what we're doing now is a part of learning theory known as shaping, where we're essentially playing a game of hot and cold with the dog. If the dog moves towards the article, it hears the bridge, which means you're getting warm. If the dog doesn't move towards it, it just gets nothing. We just simply wait it out. She's looking around, she's thinking, what do I have to do? Don't move, don't look at her. Ready?
Yes.
Nice one.
As the session progresses, Ryan wants more from Poppy before she gets the bridge word. It's a process known in learning theory as successive approximations.
Yes.
Okay, so she really looked at it then.
Yeah.
This next time, what I'd like you to aim for is maybe either her head moving down or even one paw towards it, okay? So we're upping up our approximations.
Yes. Good.
Nice one. All right, let's give her a little rest there.
Yeah.
So she's working out it's something to do with moving her head.
Yeah.
I don't think she knows for sure it's the wallet.
Today's coaching is broken up into 3 sessions of a few minutes, by the end of which we see this.
Ooh, that...
Yes.
Oh, there we go, Poppy. Praise her up, give her a couple of rewards, and then we're going to give her a breather. We're going to end that session on a high so she remembers a great success at the end of her session.
Yeah.
Poppy is a star pupil, and so it turns out is little Roxy, who's now being introduced to her target, Leanne's phone.
Any look towards it, sniff towards it, movement towards it. Oh, that's it. There you go. Nice one. I'll just move it again.
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
This is great.
Yes.
Thanks to Leanne's spot-on timing, Roxy surprises even Ryan with her progress.
Can you see how much she's enjoying that? And it's a challenge for her. She absolutely loves it. And I think dogs, specifically like Chihuahuas, they thrive on that challenge. Being made to think for themselves is something we don't often give them enough credit for or opportunities to allow to do. Wait for it. Whenever I say one more.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Not only is Roxy enjoying the new mental stimulation, Leanne has noticed another profound change.
I feel like from this weekend, something has shifted already. Her happiness and contentment, but also something with the two of us connected as well.
Remember, this is the dog that on day 1 was showing her constant anxiety through whole body shaking all the time.
She's not as needy. I like that. We were just hanging out. It was lovely.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I've seen some really cool stuff. So things like through the dog just having some very simple training or some fun games with the owner, all of a sudden things like excessive pacing or digging or barking just starts to decrease because the dog's no longer being exposed to this person who's irate with them all the time. The dog knows you're happy with them, it's calmer, less anxiety, you've got a happier dog.
G'day, Jonica.
Hi.
Last on our home visit list, it's Matt and Angus. Surprisingly, they're the ones that have got stuck.
So this is sort of what we've had happen, very little response to the keys.
This dog has become obsessed with just staring at the food, so Ryan has decided he has to try something completely different.
And this may or may not work, but there's lots of different ways to do it.
That's perfect.
He's
mate. So he
resorted
gets
to
see
baiting the
that it is-
keys with food.
All right, let him go, Matt.
Yes. Oh, did I miss that?
That's all right, no, it's fine.
Yes.
Perfect timing, Matt. That's much better. Good boy. I'm not going to put any food under it this time, okay? So I'm just going to pretend to, and then when he gets to those keys, I want you to bridge, and I will reward.
Finally, the new strategy seems to work. And although Angus is still behind the others, he too ends on a high.
This is going to be a hard one, so just wait him out.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Good,
take
Angus.
him back,
Good
take
boy,
him back,
good
and we'll
boy,
wrap
good
that
boy.
session there, Matt.
Good
Well done.
boy.
We finished the day with Ryan briefing everyone on their homework.
To 5 times per day for that length of time, so no longer than about 3 minutes. She'll be nailing this in 2 weeks.
We're partway through our dogmanship course, and while Roxy and Poppy have wowed Ryan today, there's still a long way from becoming lost wallet sniffer dogs. As for Angus,
The one I'm worried about is the Labrador. It's like his food drive is so high, he actually can't think in the presence of food. Straight to the chicken.
so far we've worked on dog communication and listening skills. In part 2 of this Science of Dogmanship special, we'll learn how our own personalities impact our dogs.
People scoring higher in neuroticism tend to use excessive hand movements when they train and excessive verbal commands. It's an overload of information for the dog.
We reveal new technology helping answer the ultimate question, is my dog happy in life?
And it is the first app of its kind in the world designed to monitor and maximise your dog's quality of life.
And find out if any of these dog owners can turn untrained pets into household sniffer dogs in just 2 weeks.
For more information on tonight's story, go to our website